And every mayfly that emerges, of course, when they're sexually mature, they mate and they turn into spinners. And the spinners, the female spinner, lays its eggs on the water, falls flush on the surface film, and at no time will you see more fish feeding on mayflies than during a spinner fall. And a well-coordinated spinner fall is, again, you'll see so many fish feeding, but you never come away with thinking, by God, did I master that? They can be so tough to catch on spinners. But this fly is so easy to tie, floats well, is effective, and you can see it, and is very durable. And it, I think, fishes as well as any other mayfly spinner that takes a lot more time and effort to tie. So with that, we're going to tie the PT pheasant tail mayfly spinner, and it imitates pretty much every species of mayfly spinner that you can think of, from Hendrickson's back east to our Baetis mayflies, our tiny little Baetis mayfly spinners, our pale morning dun spinners, pale evening dun spinners, green drake spinners. This spinner can imitate in different sizes pretty much every mayfly spinner that you'll ever come in contact with throughout the United States as well as the world. And you can see by these fibers, that beautiful rusty color that you can get from a pheasant tail, from a cock ringneck pheasant. Floats very well with the frilly nature of the fiber, accepts good amounts of floatant, and is easy to tie and fun to tie. So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to strip off 4 or 5 pheasant tail fibers. And these we're going to tie on as tail fibers. Okay? They become the tail of the mayfly spinner. We're going to carry our thread back. And now we're going to bring those same fibers back to the bend of the hook and bring the thread forward about halfway. This is going to form the abdomen by wrapping these fibers. And simply in coordinated wraps, one in front of the other, we're going to come forward about 1/2 of the hook shank and tie this material off. Now don't trim right now. Leave these fibers because they're going to become an integral part of the fly after we wrap the hackle. This is Grizzly hackle from a rooster chicken. Very resilient, very stiff fibers that'll form the wings once we wrap this hackle for the wings. Tie that on right. Now with your hackle, you're going to make several wraps, one in front of the other, just kind of depending on how big of a wing you want. I like to make about 5 wraps. And there's 4. And here's 5. Certainly you can do 6, you can do 8. It's totally up to you. But I like a fairly slim silhouette because mayfly spinners are very delicate, very slender. Tie that off and then trim. Trim that kind of out of your way. Now with these feathers, we're going to carry these feathers forward and go through the hackle, okay? And divide the hackle up on top, divide it in half as best you can, forming almost like a wing case, if you will, of a nymph. A couple wraps in front of it, and now you're going to whip finish. Three or 4 wraps. Trim this. Pull these fibers forward and trim off. You can trim them off flush. I like to trim off so you almost form a little head right at the hook eye. Now there's your spinner. Now what I'll do now is I'll trim the hackle off the bottom so that it lays flush on the water like a natural mayfly spinner. Very delicate, but this fly will float well. Notice the perfect spinner silhouette that imitates the wings, much like a marinero hackle spinner, tied entirely out of pheasant tail from the tail to the abdomen to the wing case. The only thing other than that we used was hackle fibers from a Plymouth Rock grizzly chicken.